Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Nayeli, and for today's video we're talking about color correcting, the basics of color correcting. And if you are a human, you more than likely have encountered either redness or dark spots somewhere in your skin and more than likely your face. And normally the first thing you may want to do is put on some concealer or some foundation over it, but you may find that that may not be good enough. It doesn't cover enough of that blemish or that spot, which is really disheartening, but that's when color correcting comes into play. So the goal of color correcting is to neutralize that different color that is appearing on your face. It's just going to give you more of an advantage than just using a concealer or a foundation on its own. You guys may have heard of the color wheel before, but that is going to be our biggest ally when it comes to color correcting. And essentially we're just going to be looking at complementary colors within that color wheel, just depending on the existing color that we are finding on the canvas of our skin. You want to be aware of not only your skin color, but the undertones of your skin as well. So normally for fairer skin tones, you're going to want to gravitate towards colors that are a little bit more pastel. And then if you are kind of in the mid-range or a little bit darker, then you're going to the opposite of that. And for today's video, I'm going to be using this color correcting concealer from NYX. And as you can see, the colors here are pretty pastel-y. So we'll kind of make do with what we have, but especially if you are tapping more into the deeper skin tones, then good products to use are going to be like those LA Girl Pro concealers, because they have more of a variety of different colors, different ranges. So you're going to find a lot of yellows and different types of oranges. And another thing too about this is that there's going to be a lot of trial and error. Just because a certain color seems like it's going to work on your particular skin, you may have to mix colors in order to achieve a complementary color that will work the best to kind of color correct. So a lot of the typical colors that we may find within our skin are going to be maybe redness because of rosacea or acne, browner tones because of hyperpigmentation or underneath their eyes. Many colors that you can find depending on your skin tone underneath your eyes are going to be kind of purpley or green, blue. So it's important to have a good look at the colors that you are seeing on your skin in order for you to find a good color to correct with. So just as an example for me, I'm going to zoom you guys in so that you can see some of the things that I'm experiencing. So in this area, I have some spots. It kind of looks like a little triangle. I have a little Bermuda triangle of hyperpigmentation here. Some of them are kind of red, but I feel like this one is a little bit more towards the browner color. So the key to using the color wheel for color correcting in our cases are going to be finding that color that you see on your skin and then going directly across from it on the color wheel in order to kind of neutralize the tone. So since I have a little bit of redness here, the color that is opposite on the color wheel would be green. So that is more or less the color that I would try first. And when it comes to application, you can either use your finger. I just like using my fingers for everything. But you can also use a really small brush like this to just very lightly pat it on. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in a little bit of green. I also have a little bit of red right here. And when it comes to pimples, I normally wouldn't mess with this one as much, but I do have quite a bit of redness, so I'm just doing it basically to show you guys. And for this one right here, even though it's a little bit more on the browner side, I don't really have a blue with me right now to kind of help that out, but I'm just going to go in with a purple. So I'm not going to mess with it too much because it's going to pick up a little too much concealer. I don't really want to do that. I want to maintain some of that color in there. Underneath my eyes, I have bluish purplish. So I'm going to go in with a light orange here. In this scenario, this is kind of what I was telling you guys. It's probably better to customize or try out different colors than just what you think may work, because this is still a little too light for my skin tone and for the color that I'm seeing here. I would probably benefit from a burnt orange on here. I don't really have one at the moment, so I'm just dealing with what I have. I was trying to use a lighter tan to help out here. It has a tiny bit of orange, but it's more pastel-y as well, so it's not enough to correct the color that's already existing here. And just as a reference, this is the color that I used right here. It seems like it'd be a little bit more pigmented, but my skin tone is a little bit darker. And then on the redness, I used this green one right here. And on the ones that looked a little bit more darker brownish, I used a little bit of purple there. So this is what my face looks like at the moment. I think I would probably need to blend this one out just a little bit more. Now I'm just going to go in with a tinted moisturizer just to bring everything all together in color. And I didn't use concealer, but at this point, if you wanted to use a concealer, you could. Sometimes it's also beneficial to go in with your little brush, the same brush that you may have used before, or with your fingers to blend things in a little bit more, whether you're using your foundation or BB cream or tinted moisturizer, what have you. Alrighty, you guys, so here is the final result. Well, I didn't put on powder yet, but this is after applying the tinted moisturizer. And I think something else that I probably could have done is added some just regular concealer over everything and then going in with my tinted moisturizer. However, I feel like it did a pretty good job in covering this acne area right here. And although it seemed like it wasn't gonna work out underneath my eyes, I think that it ended up blending okay. There's gonna be some trial and error when it comes to figuring out the right color and trying out different things. I knew that there would probably be some limitations with this really light colored palette for my particular skin tone, so if you are of my skin tone or deeper, then this may work for some colors but not all of them. I particularly really like the green. Even though it's a kind of pastel, I think it still works pretty well with tan skin tones too, not just like it's not just gonna work for your fair skin tones. But nevertheless, I think that this is still a really great palette, especially for lighter skin tones, and I think that the formulation of the concealer is really nice as well. It's very soft and creamy, which I enjoyed. And honestly, I probably could have used this as like just regular concealer. I can use it for other things too. You're not just limited to the color correctingness of it. I definitely think that for people with deeper skin tones like mine or deeper, LA Girl Pro Concealer range is going to be really good for you. It also lends itself to mixing colors because of the applicator of it. You can just squeeze the corrector out, and you can even put it on, like on a little mirror or like on a little piece of plastic, and just be an artist with it, you know, just kind of mess with the colors and mix them together in order to get a color that works the best for you. This NYX color correcting set cost me about $12 at Ulta, and then for the LA Girl Pro concealers, you can probably find those anywhere around $4 to $8. It just kind of depends on the store that you go to. So they are still at a really good price point. I have very recently started delving into color correcting. So if you guys have any particular tips that you may want to share with others, then you can leave them down in the comments below. But if you are just starting to color correct like I am, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that it was a little bit more helpful. Hopefully this can be something that you can incorporate into your own makeup routine, whether you wear a lot of makeup or very little makeup or no makeup at all. I think that this also works for people who don't use a lot of foundation or that just go very minimal with their makeup. So I hope that y'all enjoyed, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye!